What's up, everybody? This is Coach MJ. I hope you are having a glorious Monday and that you had a great weekend. And today we are about to jump into a training that should be of interest to anybody who has been dreaming of becoming a coach but have no idea how to get into the industry or what exactly you should do once you do get in there. What we're going to be talking about is the four hottest coaching niches and how you can get in on the heat. So there are four main areas that pretty much anybody who needs a coach, what their problem is, will fall under one of these four niches. And I want to start out by kind of explaining the difference between a coach, a counselor, a mentor, a therapist. The way I like to explain coaching with relationship to maybe counseling and therapy is that counseling and therapy tend to take a look back. They are trying to get to the root cause of why you are having the challenges that you are having in your life. Maybe you're having emotional challenges, or maybe you're having relationship challenges, or whatever that is. And your therapist, your counselor, they are walking you through it by taking a backwards approach. And counseling and therapy are extremely valuable. And I hear people talking more and more about it, especially Black people, that we need to normalize going and getting counseling and therapy. All this stuff about, are we going to pray all our problems away, or ain't nobody in my family going to be going to no shrink and all that. It's sense. We need to get help, right? So that's counseling and therapy. A mentor is someone, and a lot of times you'll get a mentor. Maybe if you're fortunate in your job, your day job, they may assign you with a mentor, and that's somebody who comes alongside you and answers your questions and tries to make sure you're on the right path. Sometimes you'll have a high school mentor, sometimes guidance counselors, if they're really good and they're able to really spend time with the students, they can be kind of in a mentorship role. And they're just kind of telling you what you need to do. They're saying, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to stop doing, right? And to get to whatever your outcome is, or whatever it is that you're working on at the time. If you're trying to progress in your career, this individual is somebody you might meet with monthly, maybe not even that often. Maybe it's just quarterly. It just kind of depends. And you just find out, what should I do? What should I not do? And a lot of times those relationships are framed or shaped by the questions that you ask your mentor, right? Outside of that, they may or may not have much to share outside of what they tell you in the beginning, unless things are kind of shifting and progressing. But usually a mentor is kind of question based and things of that nature. When you think about coaching is, and I love coaching, like I said, I love counseling and therapy, but I don't love doing that because I'm the type that's like, what do we want to accomplish? When do we need to accomplish it? What outcome do you want? What do you want things to be like? Let's move forward. Coaches take a forward-looking approach at a specific target, a specific objective, a specific outcome that their client or customer wants to accomplish. And they coaches on that, again, is maybe where you would go to counseling and therapy. This is where an individual would just say, what are the steps? Hold me accountable. Walk with me hand in hand. Give me the encouragement. Give me the camaraderie that I need to get to that goal. For those of you who are athletes or former athletes, your coach never got into a lot of why you weren't good at the game. They were just moving you towards getting good at the game, winning the game, winning the sport, or whatever that was. A coach in any other space, one of these four hot niches that we're going to be talking about today, is just moving you towards an objective. And a good coach is one that you have access to. A good coach is one that if you get hung up, you have an issue, they are accessible so that you can ask your questions and get help to move you further down the road. And that usually happens, that access happens with you investing in a coach, right? A good coach is paid. That's not saying that nobody does it for free, but to have the level of access and support and accountability and step-by-step to Z money in. And that's where the coaching as a business, coaching as a career comes into play. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Don't want you guys out here coaching for free, helping people reach outcomes when you're not able to reach your outcome of total freedom, having complete control over your time and your money, be able to travel the world and do all the other things that you want to do. So let's get into it. The first niche, and these are not in any particular order, but this is where anybody who has a problem that they need a solution to is going to fall under one of these four. The first niche that we're going to talk about is anything related to fitness, health, physical improvement, anything of that nature. So many people we know here in America in specific are struggling with being overweight, having chronic lifestyle illnesses, not being able to stop the yo-yo with their health, wanting to get more fit, to look better, to feel better, to eradicate diseases that are often only treated in the medical profession with pills and with surgeries. But there are those of you out there who know other ways to fix some of those illnesses, some of those diseases. Ways to get in shape really fast or lose weight healthily but quickly, or get rid of chronic pain and some of these other things. And you don't necessarily know. You might know it from your what you do for a living. This might be part of your profession, or this might be things that you have learned just from doing it on yourself. And guess what? Knowing something and being an expert on something because you experienced it personally, that can be even more powerful than something that you just know about because somebody else told you or you learned about it in school or in your career. Not saying that those individuals don't know what they're talking about, but when you can say, hey, I didn't go to school for this, but that is powerful, and you can coach somebody to those health outcomes, to those fitness outcomes. The thing is, if you are not at your best physically, it affects everything in your lives. It affects your relationships. It affects your career. It affects your ability to show up. If you're always ill or always dealing with some type of a chronic situation or just not at your best, dealing with maybe chronic migraines or whatever those things are, being able to get a result in a relatively short amount of time by working with a coach that is focused on getting you that way step by step, that is invaluable. And people will invest big money to get those solutions that you have. Why? Because they're already investing a huge amount in their medical care, and most of their medical care is probably not getting them all the way to being cured. There's no money in cures. I'm not going to get on my soapbox about the medical profession, but there's no money in cures, okay? There's money in treating symptoms and chronic things going on and on. You as a coach, if you can get somebody to an end place where they no longer are suffering, that is huge. And that's what will make you be in demand. That's when you will be able to demand premium prices for what you do, because you are getting somebody who has a bleeding neck problem, a result that will change their lives. And so that's one of the hottest niches out there is health, fitness, anything related to how someone is feeling physically. And I need to add on to that, it can also be mental health, right? It can also mean emotional health, which can tie in with that. So even some of you who may be therapists or counselors, like we were just talking about earlier, but you're doing it by the hour, and you know that you are limited by how many hours in a day, how many hours there are in a week. So that means there's a cap on what you're going to be able to accomplish financially and with your time. You can, again, but getting people actually getting results instead of having to string them along for years to keep that hourly rate coming in. People need to be at their physical, mental, and emotional peak. And they're not able to experience that a lot of times with the care that they're getting now, if they're getting any care at all. And so being able to be at your health, when you have not had your mental health, and some of you can attest to this personally, when you have been struggling, not having mental health, and then you get it, and you look back on the depression and back on the anxiety and back on, whatever it is you were struggling with from a mental and emotional health perspective, and see what it's like now on the other side of it, you often want to help as many people as you can, especially if your solution was different. It was unorthodox, or it was something that people are not normally saying, because conventional wisdom is a recipe for conventional results. I heard one of my coaches tell me that, and it's true. The fact that everybody says a thing is what the answer is doesn't make it the only answer. It doesn't make it the best answer. It just means that's what almost everybody is doing. So if you have an unconventional solution that can help somebody experience optimal health, that is hot, and you need to get that into the marketplace right away. The second hot niche that we're going to be talking about, and how you can get in on the heat, because it's a hot niche, you need to get in on the heat, is relationships. We talked about how not being at your best in your health can affect your relationships. If you're always sick, if you're always got a migraine, if you always are chronically fatigued, or if you have some type of health issue or mental health issue, it can affect your relationships. And by relationships, I'm talking about all of them. I'm talking about family relationships with your parents, your siblings, your kids. I'm talking about spousal or dating relationship with another human being. If you have a solution that can help people to experience better relationships in any space, whether it's a person who's struggling to find a good, solid relationship in the dating space, or a marriage that's in crisis. Maybe you and your spouse worked out something that took your marriage to the next level, and now you want to share it with the masses. That's a premium coaching program. If you can help people, there's people out here that are just starving for human interaction. It's not even about dating or anything of that nature. They just want to make friends, but they don't know how to make friends. And you have a solution of how to put yourself out there and find new relationships and expand your circle of influence and social. That is invaluable. There are a lot of lonely people now, and COVID has made that so much worse because of the isolation required by quarantining, right? As this pandemic has rocked the world, people are feeling lonely and in despair more than ever. And if you can help them to rectify that, because and again, it doesn't have to be something you learned in school. It doesn't have to be something you do for a living. I'm telling you that if you know something that somebody else wants to know, but they don't know, that makes you an expert. And you don't need letters behind your name. You don't need a certification on the wall. I got my degrees behind me. You don't need that. You don't need to go back to school. None of that. Do not believe people that tell you got to go to the American Coaching Federation to do it. You don't. You have to know what you're talking about and know that it can work for your ideal customers who come to you with the right set of criteria. That's all it has to be. And you have to know how to deliver the solution to them in a way that helps them get the results fast. That's all you need. But relationships, they're so important. Maybe you have some parenting hacks that you learned that helped you to navigate the years of parenting small children or teenagers or something of that nature with grace and relative ease, right? People want that. They're out here struggling and they're getting the conventional solutions and they're not working, or they're not working fast enough. You can turn that, my sister, into a powerful coaching business that can create wealth and impact from your perspective, and can change people's lives. Because I know a lot of you want to create coaching businesses, and sometimes when you hear the word build wealth, you might back up from that, because we've convinced ourselves that building wealth is wrong, it's bad, so we shouldn't want that. We should be noble and want to do everything for free, or be broke and somehow still be able to impact the world. Guess what? If you handle your money problems and you handle your time problems where you are shackled to somebody else, depending on them to support you and your family, and you really are free, you can impact more people and really be noble. But you can only do that when you solve the wealth issue. So for those of you who are a little nervous about when I talk about wealth, or building a legacy, or making a fortune, guess what? You can help more people when you're wealthy than you can when you're broke and tied to a desk. And that's big facts. So let's let go of the poverty mindset and shift into a wealth and abundance mindset, because there's more to it than just, I'm going to buy all these cars, I'm going to buy all this physical stuff. No, it's not just about material possessions. It's about how many lives can you really touch if you get the money out of the bad guys' hands and get it into the hands of the good people out here who want to change the world, like you and me. Okay, so we talked about relationships. If you had, that's a hot niche because people are struggling. COVID stuck a lot of married people close together who were able to kind of maintain because they were kind of two ships passing in the night. They didn't have to spend a lot of time together. Now they're quarantining. Now they're stuck in the house together for months at a time, and they're looking at each other like, God, I really don't want to be with you. I don't like you. A lot of people going to divorce court right now behind quarantining. Maybe you can help people who are struggling with this newfound closeness in their relationships to mend some things and put them back together. But you want to do it on a large scale where you're not limited by how many people you can see individually or how much money they can pay you by the hour. And then the third niche we're going to talk about is in the wealth space. So there's tons of people. I see them in my news feed. I'm so proud of these coaches, especially when I see Black folk doing it. It's like, yes, who are helping people to, get out of debt and fix their credit. And how do you spend your money and budgeting and saving for the future and investing and all those things. And maybe you've learned some stuff. Maybe you learned it recently, but it's worked for you and you've been able to build. You've been able to maybe get out of debt. You've been able to maybe get your credit to where it needs to be, or get to the place where you have extra income coming in, other income streams, and all of those kinds of things. That is a hot coaching niche because so many people out here are struggling, especially in the season we're in right now, but they already were struggling before. If you can help people to get a financial outcome that's better than where they are right now, they will beat a path to your door and beg to work with you. And up under that, sometimes I'll mention careers and career development. Sometimes it falls under the fourth niche we're going to talk about, but sometimes careers fall here because maybe you know how to help people to negotiate a better compensation at the job that they have. So everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. Some people are just fine staying in the employment space and working for other companies and building that way. And that's fine. But sometimes they need more money and they know they're being undervalued, they're being underpaid, and you know how to help them negotiate. Maybe you're in HR and you know all the hacks to help people to get more money when they go to that table, not just accept what they offer. Anything of that nature, you can help people to do. You can do that as a coach. It doesn't have to be done the way it's typically done, where they go into some, maybe there's a website they send people to, or they go to some agency, or they go to some seminar, or maybe there's nothing wrong with seminars. You need to be operating in that one-to-many space where you're one person sharing with the masses, and then you draw them in to a more expanded and deeper dive into it so they can really get the outcomes that they want. Anything related to money, making more money, investing your money so it can grow and you don't have to keep working for every dollar. The dollars work for you, and you worked it out for yourself or worked it out for other people. You need to be doing that on a larger scale. You can't give this stuff away, because here's what's true about giving it away. And I need to do a whole video on this. There's only so much you can do for people for free before it starts to lose its value in their mind. Now, it's still as valuable as it is, but if it's so great, why is it always free? College surely is not free. Most of you, if you're like me, you slap down tens of thousands of dollars on your education. A lot of you still paying it off. College ain't free. Trips aren't free. Houses and cars aren't free. All this medical care is not free. Legal assistance and representation is not free. Those things are valuable. Why is it that you feel like you should give away your expertise for free or super cheap when it's changing people's lives? If you're helping somebody negotiate a $50,000 increase, why should that be free? They're about to have $50,000 in their pockets that wouldn't have been there because of you. Or you show them how to do day trading, or just whatever that is. All of that is valuable, because what are those people going to experience without your help? They're going to be stuck right where they are. You can move them from a place of being stuck to being in abundance and having more. You need to be paid well for that. And that's possible for you in a hot niche related to finances, money, and all of that. And the last niche we're going to talk about, used to be we only would say those three niches we just talked about, health, relationships, and wealth were where it was. But then we realized that there are some that fall under personal development, self-improvement, those things that they do actually impact all of those other niches because they make you better, but they are not necessarily directly tied to any one niche. You could do these things separately. You can do these self-improvement things and not necessarily be trying to get improvements in one of these specific other areas, but ultimately all of them will be made better. Maybe it's, I'll talk about one that I used to coach in is time and organization, right? People are so time poor today, right? We have less outcomes in life than we ever did before, but we're so busy ripping and running from here and there. We've got a million things to do. 100 years, 150 years ago, people lived peacefully and calmly, still with their families, still earning a living, but we've added on all this other stuff in this modern world, and it's difficult to manage. If you can help people get organized and manage their time better, that's going to affect their lives in a major way. There are some people who are on the edge of breakdown, on the edge of falling apart because they've got so much piled on and they cannot manage it all. For people like me, and if you're like me, it's easy to manage a whole lot of stuff, juggle a lot of balls in the air, and it doesn't seem like a difficulty at all. I can't take for granted that everybody's that way. I've had to learn in recent times in my life that does not come naturally for everybody, but you can teach it to them. You can coach them and show them how they can be better in that space. And that's just one example that comes to mind because that happens to be one of my areas of giftedness, time and organization. It can be anything of that nature. It can be helping them to calm their mind, and maybe it's in meditation. It's all kinds, and spirituality can come under that space. Anything that, again, well, that other people don't know well, but would love to know well, that can be your area of coaching giftedness. And you can build an epic coaching business while you are freeing up your life because you're buying back your time. You're able to leave your job, work for yourself, and have total freedom over your life so you can impact more people. That's just the way it works. That's just what's possible. And I know it might sound crazy, like, MJ, how am I going to be a coach? I've never done it. I've never had a business. I don't know. Nobody's going to listen to me. Listen, none of that's true. I'm going to let go of all of that right now. None of that is true. Everything that you want is on the other side of you stepping outside of your comfort zone. And also stop telling yourself that those things are true, that you can't do it. Align with someone who can show you how to turn your areas of giftedness, your areas of skill and expertise into a thriving coaching business. And it's not going to take that long. There are people that do this within a matter of weeks, a matter of a few months, build it up to where they are drawing clients and able to draw this extra income where they're like, why do I keep going to work for 8-9 hours a day to make that little bit when I can do this and help my clients and always be in a space where I don't even feel like I'm working because I love what I do all day long? And they leave quickly is somehow bad and a get rich quick scheme. No, that's a difference between a get rich quick scheme and something that helps you because it's leveraged and scalable to get to another income, to higher income levels quickly because you are leveraging business models that are meant to scale quickly. There's a difference, right? And if you have something that's monetizable that the world wants, you are going to grow quickly because people are going to hear about it and they're going to want in on it. But you got to take that first step to move outside of your comfort zone and trust that you need a coach that's going to help you to figure out how to monetize your current expertise in a wildly in-demand coaching business that's going to help you build wealth and be able to travel the world and do all the other things you want to do. And so I have an upcoming 4-day Build Wealth While You Travel Challenge coming up on October the 11th. We had one planned September 27th. We had an unexpected response to that challenge. And so we've decided to do another one. It starts in just 2 weeks. Just in 2 weeks for 4 days. It's not 4 full days, just for an hour or two a day. We're going to be doing a deep dive and you're going to be discovering step by step everything you need to do from MJ, I have no idea what I can even be a coach in, to knowing exactly what you need to do to create an offer that people are going to want, find the people who want it, give your message to them, receive them, and help them to go to the levels that they want to get and get the outcomes that they desire within a matter of days or weeks, depending on what your area of expertise is. But that 4-day challenge is going to change your life, because right now you're sitting there trying to, and some of you may have already started coaching businesses, but you have no clients. This is for you as well. If you don't have any clients, you're not in business. You already may know what your area of expertise is in, but you don't know how to get people over and free yourself up. And maybe you're getting stuck in that hourly trap. Don't let that hold you back any longer. Join the Build Wealth While You Travel Challenge by going to buildwealthwhileyoutravel.com right now. Pro tip, get you a VIP ticket. Don't go for the basic economy. I know it may seem like, okay, it don't cost as much. I'm going to see what I can get. You'll get the basics, but if you want to take it to the next level and get everything that you can from this experience and scale even more quickly, get the VIP ticket. They're out there. We're only doing 213 seats. You want to get in on it. Starts October the 11th. Don't know how fast it's going to fill up, so don't procrastinate. Don't wait. You've been thinking about doing this. You've been thinking about how you can get away from your job, how you can set yourself free and work for yourself. This is your ticket, because I guarantee no matter who you are an expert in something that is monetizable, and I can show you exactly how to monetize it in the Build Wealth While You Travel Challenge. Again, go to buildwealthwhileyoutravel.com right now. Grab your ticket. Don't delay. You don't want to miss out and then be sad because you can't get in. We want you to be able to get in. I want to meet you and help you figure out everything you need to figure out to start your epic coaching business this year. 2021 is only, 3/4 of the way over? There's still time going into the holidays. And you might be thinking, MJ, the holidays, everybody's distracted. Nobody wants to coach. Not true. Not true. There's a lot of people who are having difficulty managing parts of their lives, and the holidays do not matter. And then you move into New Year's resolution season, right? Where they're going to do all these great things, and they're going to need your help to do them. So you need to be in the space now, so that when that hits, you get in on it and find your ideal, wonderful clients that you're going to be able to serve to their dreams. But it starts with pursuing your dream in the Build Wealth While You to help you get started. It's been my joy and my pleasure to share with you today. I'll be back, I think, tomorrow with another training broadcast, but you don't have to wait on that. Go ahead and get your ticket, and let's get you on the path to becoming an epic in-demand coach who can travel the world. Join me on these trips. Join me having complete control over your time and your ability to earn income, create a legacy, and make a fortune so you can help even more people to reach their dreams. I will talk to you later. Hope you have a fabulous day. Take care. Bye-bye.